Hello and welcome to the Dash News podcast. I'm Mark Mason and I'm joined by my fellow host, Joao Valenzuela. How's it going?
Staying dashy.
Excellent. Staying dashy as always. And this is episode 106. I forgot to mention, how could I forget? 106 episodes. Amazing. And for this episode, we have a very special guest, Oliver, who is the Business Development Manager for allnodes.com, and that is a Masternode hosting service. Welcome to the podcast, Oliver.
Hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Thank you for coming on the podcast to answer some questions. I'm sure the community is going to be really interested in what Allnodes is doing. I know some people in the community, in our Discord community, have been talking about Allnodes. So I'm very grateful for you to come on, talk to me and Joel, and we just want to learn more about the service and what you offer. And so let's just get straight into it, right? So Allnodes, it's not just for Dash Masternodes, but it's a hosting service, correct?
Yes. Actually, I'll prefer to say that we are a hosting solution. And so what we are trying to do, and we have actually achieved, is provide the easiest hosting solution for pretty much like any major cryptocurrency masternode, with Dash being the major one. And we really have to thank the Dash community for their trust and support and to help us grow. So I think I know it's early on, but right now we are hosting about a little over 1,700 nodes. And
Ooh.
so
that's pretty impressive. Are they all Dash? They're not all Dash though, are they?
Not all Dash. I mean,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I can't really, I cannot disclose how many Dash nodes are there, but I can tell you that Dash is definitely one of the major one, and we love the Dash community a lot.
Excellent. Well, cool. So in the past within the Dash community, there has been other kind of service providers that offer Masternode hosting solutions, right?
Yes.
Definitely. And Allnodes is kind of like the new kids on the block. I mean, I only really learned about you in the last few months, but it seems in the last few weeks, there's been lots of noise generated. It seems ever since consensus happened, right? I'm seeing lots more tweets from you guys, and maybe it's just people in our community are flocking to your service. So that's why I want to kind of figure out, what's going on. So what was the reason behind creating Allnodes? Because were you aware that there was other solutions? What was the reasoning for setting up Allnodes? Didn't you like what was out there? Do you felt that you could offer something new?
Okay, so I'm gonna start answering your question by asking a different question. Have you ever tried to set up like a Dash Masternode yourself?
I've been through the process, and I guess for non-technical people, it could be a pretty daunting experience. So,
yes. So I remember playing with Masternode a couple years ago, first time ever. I mean, I'm fairly advanced user with Windows and everything, and so the general technical ability, I think I'm okay, maybe slightly above average. But when I was starting with Masternode, it's I tried many times and something always go wrong. So after spending a lot of time trying to figure out what's going on with the Masternode, the setup, configuration, I'm pretty sure you know all of that. I feel like I got a PhD, which is short for permanent head damage.
Wow.
And probably have is it just me, or do I see some keyboard key shaped scars on your forehead there?
No, I think that's probably the LED light from my keyboard, but I mean, that was a couple years ago, so I don't think I still have those scars. Maybe I had them back then. Yeah, but
yeah, that's good.
So yeah, that's basically a lot of the user pain we have seen with most Masternode setup. It's really not a easy thing to do for average people, and we see that Masternode is a really great innovation, and we do see that as a very important aspect for the future of crypto, and because it not only benefits the network but also benefits the people who believe in a future of one particular network, or the holders. So it's a mutually beneficial relationship, but the only problem in that relationship is how difficult it may be for the not super technical people to set it up. I'm pretty sure all of you to agree with me on that, right?
you're focusing on ease of use, which is a really good thing, and that's actually a key thing. It's a key pillar in Dash, right, Joel?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one thing. Do you know who Andreas Brecken is of shitcoin.com? If you haven't heard of that dude, which, you know, again, plugging a friend who has the best blog in the world, not really, but shitcoin.com is basically, he goes and does a deep dive on every single cryptocurrency to sort of find what's hype and what isn't, including compiling a node from the source code, running it all himself, doing every single advanced feature, everything it claims that it can do. He does it from the ground up. And so he did that for Dash, and including he just bought a Masternode when it was 300 grand for a Masternode just to write a blog post, submitted a proposal, voted on the proposal, got it passed. And he said that Dash was probably like the surprisingly easiest of all the things he tested out to use. And I kind of agree. But then reading through his review of Dash, him like doing everything from scratch, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Like, I'm just not technical enough to understand it. He just did it from the ground up. And so I understand, like, sometimes the whole Dash stuff, and I've submitted proposals before where I open up the core wallet and then I take the little transaction hash and put it in the command line, and then it generates the proposal. I have to copy and paste hashes a few times and claim stuff. And that was already a little bit like, oh, am I doing it right? Am I doing it sweat? Am I doing it right? And that's like the easy, the user-friendly part that everyone says, wow, this is so easy to use. And I'm like, this is compared to the rest of the world? Like, what do other people use,
I mean, like, I think that's actually the easier part of messing with the Dash Masternode, because, like, once you get into the VPS side and start playing with the configuration files over there, is much more, well, not much more complicated, but like, there's the likelihood of something going wrong is much higher than what you were doing in the console.
Yeah.
You guys have done something unique, though, which I haven't seen done yet by a Masternode hosting service provider or service. And that's, you was offering like a promo. I wish I saw and caught onto this earlier, but you've been offering free Masternode hosting on your service, right?
Yes, I think we have been doing that since we started the service to open to the public, and we'll continue to do that till July 1st of this year. So if you want to try it out, you still have one more 3 months just to play with it. And we will finally have the billing system online around June 20th. But even then, the hosting rate will be very, very reasonable. We're talking about, for Dash, it'll be $5 a month plus any value-added tax.
Yeah. Wow. Now, when I'm thinking of Masternode hosting, and I've looked through the years at the different services, and I remember, for example, Node 40 was always horrendously expensive compared to the other ones, but claimed the highest rewards for Masternodes based on the total uptime, as in based on Masternodes not being kicked to the back of the queue and missing out on payments because of how they hosted it. They claimed the highest highest rate of return, which, I didn't check those claims out, but I do remember back in the day there were some DDoS attacks of the Dash network, and I remember like people, like a few hundred nodes got whacked, went offline, and there's always the people with like the cheapest, most terrible hosting that just like it works, but then it doesn't work. So how much DDoS protection are you going to be able to have for the $5 a month? Is this something that's going to be? Are you going to? Anyway, I'll just shut up. What do you think?
Well, so like I can't comment specifically on the DDoS attack, but I know so far in the last couple months, like all the Masternode running out of servers, and we have been having 99.99% uptime for the whole time. That is including any kind of network client update throughout all the Masternode networks that we're hosting, and we have a dedicated team that maintains these Masternode and updates. And we also designed the system in a way that if there were anything wrong with it, they will automatically launch a repair program to fix themselves to ensure the maximum uptime possible.
So this free hosting, this is quite an interesting tactic, because I'm guessing the idea is to get people to flock from other services over to yours, because really within Dash, you're offering free hosting, right? And it on average is about 8 days to get a block reward payout. So if you moved your Masternode over to your service, which is free to do, right, for the first month, right? And then
free till July 1st right now.
Okay, until July 1st.
Yes.
And then you only need 8 days to get one payout, which I think is like 1.5 Dash. And that's enough Dash from the free hosting to pay for the hosting for the year. That's pretty impressive. I mean, like, that's what I'm just doing.
You crunch the numbers, huh?
Yeah, I'm like, because if you're paying other people to host, it's costing you money, or whether you're hosting yourself, even if you're not using a service provider, it's pretty impressive to put that over, because you must be using, DigitalOcean or like another VPS service. And even if I was going to host it myself at $5 a month, I can't do it cheaper than that. I mean, I don't know how you guys are making money. So like, and with you offer a monitoring service as well, right?
Yes, we offer a free monitoring service, and that service will stay free in the foreseeable future.
Wow. So like you're taking care of everything. So and with the monitoring service, if I understand correctly, that can be any Masternode. So I could still have a Masternode with a different. I could be hosting it myself, or all I need is the collateral address, and I can still access the dashboard, and I can see that the monitoring dashboard. Is that correct?
Yes, that'll be correct.
Well, is that always going to be the case, or is that just a temporary issue? Because like you're offering a free service to people.
Okay, so let me comment a little bit on that. Just I do think that after July 1st, we'll be charging a monthly fee. Of course, still like a very reasonable price at around $5 a month for Dash. And so like the hosting service itself will be a paid service after July 1st, but the monitoring service will stay free. So, but I feel like one of the things that you really should try the monitoring service, like, even if you're hosting yourself or hosting with someone else, just come try the monitoring service and see just like how easy it is and how great the graphic user interface is. And maybe you'll want to switch with us, right?
Well, here's the thing. I guess I should kind of put a disclaimer out there. So before we came on, I had to check this out. Other people were asking me about it, and normally I'm quite skeptical about a lot of services because it's cryptocurrency, right? So I'm all about control. However, the fact that you offered that service, that you didn't really require like private details from me, I could just put in a collateral address, and then all of a sudden I can see all that stuff. And I think the fact that you already had a well-known presence. So Seth, your guy, he spoke to me like a few months back about Discord, because he was creating Discord bots and was talking about the Dash Talk Discord, staydashy.com. Make sure you join. And we were talking about that, and he was developing some stuff then. And I thought, okay, this guy's really switched on. And then just with Dash, there's so much news and things happening. I kind of forgot about it. It just went out of my head, because there's every day there's new stuff coming out. So the fact that you could do that free kind of allowed me to check it out. And then, of course, I saw the free trial. But it wasn't only that. It's the extra added value service, because one of the biggest I was going to ask this later on, but I think the biggest question, as I just received like a notification before we came on, I think this is important to talk about, and someone in the live chat's already addressed this. They're saying like, do you charge extra to update when an update is released? So recently, we Dash was on 0.14, but they've just rolled out another minor update, 0.14.1, and you guys were just on it. So one, do you charge like maintenance fees if there's an update? How quick do you get on it? And how does that work? So if I'm on your service, how does that work?
Okay, so let me go with the software update first. So any software update or maintenance and anything on service, like that's all included in the very small fees that we charge for the monthly hosting. That's it. That's all inclusive. The only thing not included in that price is the VAT, because like the government collects that, we don't.
Excellent. So what about the notification service? Because I thought it was pretty cool. Like it's opt-in, so it's up to you to decide. But when I set it up, it said, "Oh, do you want notifications? So you can get notified about the status of your node, to see that it's up. Once it's updated, like software updates, and also when you get payouts, which was pretty cool. But you can sign up on Telegram and Discord, right?
Yeah. So I know you mentioned that our guy were developing the bots earlier, like a few months back. So I just kind of want to go into a little bit on that. We do have a dedicated tech team just to develop bots, and we have been working on Dash bots and many other bots for Masternodes and other cryptocurrencies. That's actually one of our specialty service, and of course that also comes free with hosting. And and talking about like the update release implementation time, usually it takes about 7-8 hours for us to fix everything on our end and release the update to all the clients who are hosting their Masternode with us. So that's pretty quick.
Yeah, it's actually really cool because there's a couple Dash bots. There's one which you can use in Dash Talk Discord, staydashy.com, and you can look up just Masternode stats and what's going on with Dash and the market and see the prices. But yeah, also there's that other bot if you do decide to opt in for reporting, and you get notifications about all kinds of things, and you can also do commands from within it to see the state. You can prompt it to give you an update as well, but those push out notifications, I've only tried out Discord so far. I imagine Telegram is the same, but it's just so simple. It's just so easy. And it was just really refreshing because one of the questions, as I was saying, I wanted to ask you was about like the updates. And then it's just no word of a lie. I get a notification on Discord to say like, your node's being updated to 0.14.1. I was just like, wow, that is super quick because understandably, people in the Dash community want to upgrade as soon as possible, especially if they want to see new dips and sporks activated, right? It's in our best interest. So we want to make sure that service providers on it. And it's not always been the case that they've been quick to jump on board because there's a whole lot of automation on the back end, right? Because on a manual job, it'll be quite a tedious, lengthy process, right? And it sounds like you're managing a lot of nodes. Did you say what, 1,900? Was that correct?
Right now, I think it's about 1,750. That's for now.
Okay, and yeah, the process is very, very automated and smooth. Hopefully later on we can go through the process and you can show us that, because I think that's going to be the real selling point. So
yeah, I mean, like since you talked about that, so like right now it's kind of like a teaser, but if you think the Dash all the Dash bots are impressive, then just wait till we actually show you how to host the Masternode with us, and I think you'll be much more impressed by that.
Wow. So is this it? Like you've now launched, or is there a roadmap with planned other future updates, or was everything just getting up to this stage?
Okay, so let me start. Cause like I know you asked about this earlier, like how does the whole thing start, and I kind of forgot to answer that back then. So I thought right now it's a good point, since like we're talking about the very beginning of the roadmap, right? So talking about like our founder, Seth, he loves crypto and he loved Masternode. So like he participated in some SEOs in the past and had to manage like a lot, like I'm talking about a lot of VPS instances. So that's why like he got the inspiration. I mean, like he's a fairly technical guy, but like even for him, it's like the difficulty for like like the potentially something going wrong and the sheer like just like the amount of server or VPS you have to manage, like is very overwhelming. So that's why he decided to create all nodes, like a service that can manage all the nodes for you and try to be automatic as much as possible. And so that's how the whole thing started. And I think like the idea started in I think around middle of 2017. So like, and we spent a lot of resource developing the automation process, testing different configurations, optimizing everything. And I believe our beta was finally launched to public around Q3 of 2018. So we definitely went through a lot of development and testing before that. And so right now, it's basic. So pretty much like all the hosting service and monitoring service and the bots are ready for actual users to join us. And as of the future roadmap and products, we do have more things that we're working on right now. One of them will be that we're still adding more network and Masternode protocols into our supported currencies right now. And we have so we pretty much add those on a weekly basis, and we will have staking launch around mid of June. So that's a new service, and we also have a B2B service under development as of now, which we should be able to see a preview shortly after the staking service is launched.
Excellent. So you've actually got your own little community with All Nodes, right? Because you've got your own Discord channel.
Yes, we do.
And it's growing pretty fast, I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think the most impressive thing, I know you mentioned consensus earlier. We did see like a pretty significant growth in the very few weeks after consensus. Like, we see like a jump in the amount of masternodes being hosted on our server. And also at consensus, we had the opportunity to talk to the CEO of Dash, Ryan Taylor, and very cool guy. And yeah, if you guys want to see proof or like proof of meeting, you can check out our Twitter. We have a picture with him over there.
It's pretty tall, right?
Yeah.
You know where they call him Baby Giraffe.
Really?
Yeah, he's a tall guy. Yes, I did actually see that. I saw that tweet go out. That was Ryan Taylor at your booth, and he was holding up an all Nodes card. So
yeah,
you're definitely out there. So yeah, tell us about consensus. How did they? I mean, that must have been a fun event to attend in the first place. Meeting Ryan Taylor, Dash Core Group CEO, that's pretty impressive in itself. I mean, did you get to talk to Ryan for a long time? I mean, New York, it must have been pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, like, New York is pretty fun, but, you know, it's like consensus is a 3-day event, so it also really wears you out. I think, luckily, we had the chance to talk to Ryan on the first or second day, so we still have some pretty good amount of energy left at that point. It's like, by the third day, I can see everyone at the show is pretty exhausted already. But so talking to Mr. Ryan Taylor, like you said, very tall guy, and I think in that picture I was hiding somewhere in the background, probably because my hair was a mess at that time. But yeah, like we had a good chat with him. Like you said, like Seth and some of our other team members were there, and we talked about some of the feedback we received from our user and also Dash community members. So we gave him some of our feedback and opinion, and based on what we talked about at consensus, I do believe that we were able to build a stronger, mutually beneficial relationship with Dash community. And like I said, like the goal is to build a better product, more user-friendly, that can encourage mass adoption. Because I think the future of cryptocurrency is more related to mass adoption instead of like one or two bull run. Like if we're talking about like long-term stays, and mass adoption is definitely the key.
Right. Well, one thing I'm kind of curious about consensus is me and Joel have been in the space for a little while, and we've known people that have been in cryptocurrency for the longest time, yet they still can't grasp the concept of masternodes, and we have to explain it to them. So when you was at consensus and there were people coming up to your booth, you know, what was the response like? Did people understand what masternodes were, or did you find yourself over and over again just having to explain what a masternode is, what it does, etc., etc.?
Did you hear anything? Do you hear the term scam or centralized directed in your general direction?
Not to us. Not to us.
Oh, what if in us you include you guys and the Dash people?
I mean, like I'm pretty sure that we didn't hear anything, and I don't think Dash heard anything. But like, I did see a couple shirts. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this on this podcast, but like, I did see a shirt that was pretty interesting. It says that my T-shirt is more decentralized than Ripple.
That is pretty funny.
Well, I
mean, I've actually heard about that shirt before, so
yeah, like
it's already out there.
It was a really cool shirt.
But it was a centralized shirt, though. Well, I want decentralized shirts where everyone controls a piece of it. No, I don't.
But the feedback and response to all nodes at Consensus was good. Were people like generally interested in what you had to offer?
Okay, so the interesting part is that we actually met a few people who are early Onos users who came to our booth and just like chat with us and see, and they were saying how happy they were after switching to our product. And I think like you asked earlier, like we do get people asking like about like what is a Masternode, and I think I remember there's one guy from traditional financial service. He was asking me about what exactly is Masternode, because like he doesn't have any real background in cryptocurrency. He was more with a blockchain services. Well, I think I tried to use some kind of analogy to put it in terms that he will understand. I think like, it's a pretty bad analogy to think about it hindsight, but I was telling him that the easiest way for him to understand is that let's say you can see if we were to put Masternode in a traditional banking sense, it would be a saving account, because like you generate interest. I mean, like it's not accurate, but like it's like a very good starting point.
You're getting paid for providing a service to the network.
True, but like
Yeah.
I think for like I think based on the people we spoke to, there are two group. One is more concerned about like help being part of the network and helping the network grow. So, and also there are other people who are more interested in the like return on investment for hosting a Masternode. None of them are wrong. Both of them are helping the network, and so like I think to explain the concept of Masternode, like you probably have to see which orientation they are with. So like that way you can really hit the point where they are more interested in listening to.
Yeah. It's difficult, isn't it? It's like, sit down,
Yes.
let me tell you a story. You got 5 minutes? But like it's a really powerful tool. Like right now we're seeing it's like the new fad in crypto at the moment. We're seeing lots of services that are offering like loans where you're using crypto as collateral, and that that was the phase. And now we're seeing this next phase where people are offering like Celsius Network. They're offering, if you put crypto on their service, and they'll pay you a return. But by doing that, it's not really a Masternode service in itself. Although they offer to pay a reward, with Masternodes you're actually helping to secure and support the network. So you're getting paid block reward payouts for helping to run and facilitate the network. And that that's the second tier layer of Dash. I can't speak for other Masternode projects because I'm not well versed, but Dash was the first Masternode cryptocurrency project and really led the way and pioneered. But the Masternode second tier network is the beating heart and lifeblood of Dash that enables our self-funding, self-governing mechanism and all the extra bells and whistles, instant send, private send, everything else. So it's so instrumental. So I can understand when you're talking to people at Consensus, you're going to get two kinds of people. You're going to get people that are believers in the project, believe in the end game, and then you're going to get speculators who just care about investing and they want to make a return, and they're just more like, well, how much money can I get out of this sort of thing, which I can understand. And you have to kind of cater to both audiences. But there is one important distinction that I think we should make. It comes down to kind of like security, right? And when it comes to services, especially in cryptocurrency, you have trusted and trustless. And if you're using a trusted service, it means you're trusting someone with your collateral, with something. So you have counterparty risk. And with all node service, it's not a trusted service, because I can keep my Dash on a hardware wallet, right? And I can still use your service. You don't have access to my funds, but I can still use your service.
Yes. So that's actually one of the key to our service that I forgot to bring up earlier. We are non-custodial. So really with us, your fund is as safe as you personally make it to be.
Yes, absolutely. And I think anyone, so for those that are unaware or new viewers to the channel or listeners to the podcast, as we're on iTunes and stuff as well, for a Dash Masternode, you need to have 1,000 Dash. There are other services that offer fractional ownership of Masternodes from 1 Dash upwards, but with all nodes, as they're a dedicated VPS service, these are really for people that have the 1000 Dash already allocated. So yeah, I think this is really important. And yeah, if really for anyone watching, listening, even if you're not within Dash, even if it's not a Masternode coin, if you have a substantial amount of cryptocurrency, please put it on a hardware wallet. I'm a big fan of Trezor because there's a lot of services within the Dash ecosystem that support Trezor, but there's KeepKey. There's other ones as well. I see there's the Fuse X1, which is kind of a card one. I've not tested it out. I can only speak from my own experience, and I'm very happy with Trezor. So yes, but that's a good point though, right? So all I need to do, I mean, I hope people are using the hardware wallet, but all they need to know is the collateral address. That's all they really need to all they need to know technically to use your service.
Yeah. So yeah. I think like you said, like the service itself is extremely easy and as safe as you make it to be. I know this sounds like a little vague before I show you the demonstration later, but like, so if you ever sign up for like a DigitalOcean account, set up your own VPS server, I can say that our server, if you want to sign up, is probably easier to set up than it is to sign up for DigitalOcean account. So that's how easy it can be.
Yeah, step by step. Yeah, I completely agree. And that's the thing when it's so cost effective, because you mentioned about the tax thing earlier, and I did see someone mention in the comments, what, like UK VAT tax? Well, I mean, it's the same. Even if you went the manual route and you tried to set up yourself using DigitalOcean or another VPS service provider, you're still going to have to pay tax on that service, right? That's out your hands. You're going to have to pay that anyway, regardless. Yes. So, but the cool thing with you guys is, when it comes to billing, which isn't enabled yet, but from 1st of July onwards, you're going to accept cryptocurrency for payment as well for hosting. Is that correct?
Yes. So we will be accepting cryptocurrency and fiat payment through credit card. And the billing service, actually, we will start the deposit process by June 20th. So everyone who are hosting Masternodes with us can get ready for the June 1. For the 1st of July starting of the actual billing. So you have about 10 days to get ready. I think that's more than enough time. And yeah, so like the VAT part is completely out of our control. So it really depends on which country you're living in. So that is a small variable. But other than that, we pretty much it's a flat service fee. Of course, we do provide a hosting service for many different cryptos, not only Dash. I know you guys are focusing on Dash, but as you may know,
Marcus turning pink with rage. He thought you were Dash exclusive.
No. Well, I'll try to end this part very quickly. So we do support many different crypto networks, but one of the problems is that for different crypto networks, they have different VPS server requirements. So the fee may change a little bit, but for majority of the cryptocurrency, it'll be $5 month plus VAT.
So there's a couple of things happening on the horizon.
Yeah.
There's going to be a stress test coming up. I don't know if it's going to be fairly soon, but I would imagine in the next month or two. And we've had stress tests on the Dash network before. Last time we got close to nearly 3 million transactions within a 24-hour period.
It was over 3, right? 3.1 or 2.
So it was incredibly impressive. But this time around, it's going to be even better. But within that stress test, we learned a lot because where all these different VPS services, people using different packages. And with that, you got different CPUs, RAM set up, different bandwidth, all kinds of things. So it was a real test of the network. But I'm thinking about if I'm using your service, recently we had news about the Dash platform, which is not just going to utilize things like DAPI, but things like Dash Drive, which is going to depend on the Masternode network, right? And their hard drives, because it uses IPFS to share storage data from the drive, right? So I don't know what the specs are of your servers from the get-go, but there may come a stage in the future where we may need to increase hard drive capacity to help facilitate that as the network grows, as we get more dApps, et cetera, et cetera. I'm guessing you will be able to upgrade that on the fly. I know it's not an immediate problem, but this will be something that long-term people in the Dash community and holders will want to see addressed, because they're going to be basically relying on you not just to upgrade software to the latest releases, but also to factor in and be adaptable and maneuver around the needs that the network has as well.
Yes, so that's a very good question, and I know that you guys are definitely having a lot of new development and testing going on, like you mentioned. But so I do want to say that our technical team, they're fairly in tune with what's going on with the Dash community and all the future development. So if there is anything, they will be actively testing and preparing for any potential upgrade. So by the time it's a concrete thing, I'm pretty sure they'll be ready. And let me just put it in a very simple way. If they can manage to complete the whole Masternode setup in very few clicks, I'm pretty sure they can handle like a server upgrade or anything like that, right?
Absolutely. So
I think so.
So yeah, so I think you kind of summarized that quite well. If you're going to do this by yourself, you're probably going to come into a lot more hurdles and obstacles. You're there to make that their life more simple, right? You've got a script, you automate that process. So I mean, I think the claim on the website is you can set it up within a minute or two. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll say probably less than 2 for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. I feel like we're getting close to the share screen moment, so we can actually see this happening. Joel, I don't think Joel's had a chance to check out the platform yet. So we're gonna try doing this on the fly. So if you can try to show your screen on the laptop, and then I'll try to focus on that one. And while you're doing that, I'll just talk to Joel.
Okay, yeah. So let me just make a quick introduction before I do the actual demonstration. So like 3 things that we are very proud of as owners is that first, is extremely easy to set up. Like I said earlier, probably easier to set up a Masternode than it is to sign up for a DigitalOcean account and start your own VPS. So that's one point. And also that we have not just a graphic user, not only we have a graphic user interface, but it's actually a very simple and very beautifully designed one. And also that we provide the ability to manage multiple Masternodes across multiple networks under the same dashboard. So it's very easy for people who own, let's say, like multiple Dash networks, Masternodes, or they own like 200 Dash and maybe one other Masternode for other network. And on top of all that is non-custodial, so we're perfectly safe. And now I'm gonna let you and Joel talk, and I'll try to get ready for the actual demonstration. That's good.
Excellent. Yeah, cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
So Joel, one cool thing is that the monitoring of the service is free. So say, for example, you had really, really big pockets, or you won the lottery and you bought yourself, or you set up like 10 nodes yourself, 10 masternodes. Could you imagine it? And then
that's like a mini whale. What would that be, like a porpoise, of sorts?
And like all you would need is the 10 collateral addresses. Literally just pop them in, and this is just for the free monitoring service. And you can then get all those updates and get push notifications on your phone every time you get like a payout and status updates or when they're upgraded. And like it's just so cool. It just makes life so much easier. I mean, I'm really impressed with the service itself. And the thing is, like, you can still be using another service provider and still use the free monitoring service. So that's why, I would encourage people to go check it out.
So what kinds of notifications would that be? Obviously, payouts are one. What are the others? Yeah,
so updates. In fact, I'm going to have a quick look in Discord now directly at the bots. So if I go to my All Nodes bot, so it can tell you about your earnings, your uptime, and now it does these ones automatically, but you can actually go into your bot, which is kind of like it opens up as a contact, and you can put in !help, and you can see the command lines. So you can check an address for a specific node. You can check the state. You can check the balance. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean,
okay, so Mark, just let me interrupt you really quickly. I think I'm almost ready to share the screen after you guys finish talking about this. So just let me know when you guys are done, and I'll start the demonstration. Sounds good?
Fantastic. Okay, well, I've clicked on it. We can see. So although we're seeing the dashboard, just before you begin, this is your testnet one, right? So you're using T-Dash to do this.
Yes, that is correct.
Cool. But the process is exactly the same.
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Well, begin when you're ready.
Okay, so I'm gonna start right now. I already have the address copied. It's on the other screen, so that won't show. But just click host, and then you see all the cryptocurrency supported. Click on Dash right here. Paste the wallet address. Find. Okay, that's online. Hold on, let me pull up one of the addresses because like we were doing some testing earlier, so that may be the reason. So just give me 1 second. This one should be good. So let me replace this one. Find. So now you can see after providing the address, it shows a collateral index, and then you click proceed. So and then the server side is getting ready. User action required. Click resolve. I'm using the Dash Network wallet for demonstration, but like you said, it's better to use a hardware wallet. So pretty much just click next. Copy the message. Well, even the copy is scripted, and now I'm gonna generate the key in the Dash wallet and copy, paste it back. Next, success. That's it. That's all you have to do.
To set it up, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it spins up a VPS server in the background, and then it's so simple. I mean, I tested out the hardware wallet side, which is so from the first step, you put in the collateral address as you saw, and then when you click next, it gives you a series of fields. I think there's about 5 different fields, and you have they're already auto completed, and then you have like a copy button on each one, and there's something called a DMT. It's called the Dash Masternode tool, which is software that you can just download. It's free to download, and then you download that, and then you just copy and paste each field into the DMT tool, and it literally takes less than a minute to set it up. And I've been using a few different providers in the past, and this is so straightforward. Like I can't actually see where you'd have to go. The only way you could mess up would be user error and just copying and pasting on the one. But then again, they've actually got a button to actually just copy it, so you don't even have to like drag along to like copy. There's just a little button you click, and then it's literally onto the DMT tool. Paste. You can't really mess it up. But this is a good question. I mean, it seems simple and straightforward, but how has it within the community, Allnode's community, have people had any issues? Like, I mean, because they must be giving you feedback, right?
So yeah, this is kind of like a disclaimer. I'm a little bit ashamed of this because we were doing some testnet testing earlier, right before we came onto the show, and I actually I added 2 different Masternode address for Dash testnet, and I mixed up the signed message for both, so it didn't work at that. So I had to go back and fix that. So that is user error. But if we're talking about the actual community, the actual users, our users usually don't have any questions because it's really that simple. I think the only way that you can potentially make it more simple is have someone to click on your mouse for you, right?
Yeah. Would it be possible to go back to the screen? I just want to show the dashboard. Because for people that are using the free monitoring service, I think it's really cool that you kind of have that graphic user interface. And even if you're not hosting my node and I'm choosing your monitoring service, it will still show when the next payout is due and all that sort of cool information. And I think this is a really good selling point, and I think it's a way for the community to perhaps dip their toes and just see what you got to offer. And I think with your free hosting offer at the moment till 1st of July, I suspect quite a lot of people watching will be interested in what you offer.
Yeah. So let me. I got a testnet node just to show you the monitoring service. Let me switch back to the screen right now.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Okay. So it's working out. So yeah, I already copied the address, and now we just click on monitoring, wallet address, start watching. So yeah, This one is ready. Details.
Yeah, so you can go in, you can check. Okay, yeah, and even just back on the main dashboard, you can see the dash price and hover over, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So on the main dashboard, there's a active node count, Dash USD current, payment schedule, Dash USD weekly, total value, and nodes, daily earnings, and total earnings.
Yeah, as there's been no payouts yet, that's not been populated. Yeah. But if you do have a node that has received payouts, that will populate.
Yes.
And it's pretty cool. You can see the earnings, I think, in USD and Dash as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, like Joel, how simple was that? I mean, it's a lot faster than you thought, right?
Yes, the only thing simpler would be to have Heidi and Isabel do walkthrough videos. Like for the people who can't look and read, who just need someone telling, do this, then that, then this, and then
So we need the community to create a donation address for Isabel to get a Masternode. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean,
how we do on for you first?
Yeah, well, let me put it this way: if you did put such a donation address together, I think it would be. I have a feeling within a year she'd get one.
Yeah.
Okay. You know how people are.
Joel, you might be able to answer this. So a question's coming talking about voting mechanisms. So I will talk on the DMT side, and then you can talk about perhaps doing it from the wallet or from Nexus or Dash Central side. So if you're using a DMT tool for your Masternode, you can actually vote from within that. So for those that are watching with Masternodes, we have a DAO, like 10% of our block reward goes to the treasury, and each voting monthly cycle, people can submit proposals asking for funding, and Masternodes can vote on that, yes, no, or abstain for them to get funding. And yeah, the cool thing about being a Masternode owner is you get to, as you've got skin in the game, you can vote on that, and you can vote from within the DMT tool if you go through the hardware wallet approach. And personally, that's what I use, and it's very straightforward, very simple. Or you don't have to do that. The actual websites that show the proposals, -nexus.org and Dash Central, you can vote on those as well, which I was going to throw over to Joel. But
yeah, I mean, it's simple enough. But so Nexus and Central allow you to register, an account to leave comments, etc. But you can also register your Masternode status. You could prove you have a Masternode, then it has a little badge that puts you in the special comment section. Now, you can vote on the site itself. I do know a lot of people that are paranoid about that, especially if they have a few nodes. They don't want to have like 4 nodes, and then they put them all on those nodes vote, and then they're like, oh, the person who runs the website knows I have this username as this group of nodes, and it's just too much. I actually know a lot of people who vote manually. Like, they just paste this big long thingy into the command line in the Dash wallet, and that's how they do it. And I also know other people that vote via CrowdNode, which is another, I guess that's a topic to go on next. But at some point, it would be very interesting to have an all nodes. Do you guys have an app yet, like a Android or iPhone app?
We don't have that yet, and but like I know you guys were talking about the voting system earlier, like 30 seconds ago. But then so I just have something to add right there that we don't have so like we can't publish the whole roadmap yet, but like we do have like little tools that we're developing and will be releasing very soon. Basically, that we are developing this the whole Dash governance system integration tool. So after the integration tool is integrated fully into our system, it only requires a few clicks to vote. And on top of that, we really pay attention to detail. Like people, like if they're like whale with like 20 Dash Masternode, like obviously you want your privacy. So like, let's say if you hosted 20 or 30 different Dash Masternode on our server, and you want to vote on like all the servers, you can do that through only a few clicks, and then we will randomize the time that each of the server vote. So it'll kind of like it wouldn't show that 20 or 30 different Masternode are voting at the same time and expose privacy. So like that's a privacy measure and also easy to vote. And as of the iOS and Android, iOS is currently under testing and development right now, and Android should follow after that.
Exciting times. So at some point in the future, we'll be able to vote through all nodes. And, you know, I mean, it's pretty cool just utilizing social media for updates and that sort of stuff. But yeah, the application side as well, that'd be pretty cool.
Now, we have had some cycles, voting cycles of very poor voting turnout. Probably because, you know, especially when you start coming to spring and summer months, people are away. And if it falls on a weekend and then they just haven't been noticed. But so having a little thing there gives like push notifications to say voting deadlines a week, voting deadlines a day. And you can just go, oh, and then you just go scroll and vote, beep, done. And then that would be something that I think would really elevate the experience and participation to a whole nother level.
Yeah. So I do think that when we are building these tools, we have in mind that, you know, like the voting is a very important component of the whole ecosystem. So so like when we are building these tools, we want to make it easy not only for people to host and manage their masternodes, but also extremely easy for them to vote on it, because like the increasing democracy is part of the blockchain idea or core concept, right? So like, you know, like imagine you're on like a vacation to wherever you prefer, and then like all you have to do is 4G, 5G network, click on your phone app, and then like a few clicks later, you already have the Dash Masternode started voting for you. I mean, I'm pretty sure the actual participant rate at that point will be much higher than, you know, having to go into your console, hardware wallet, and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure many people watching this might already be familiar with Seth, with his work on bots and etc. with all nodes. In fact, I think as a separate situation, there's actually another Discord within Dash called Dash Nation, and there's a dedicated Masternode only channel for masternodes to talk amongst themselves. And I believe Seth has helped out with a verification process on the bots, but randomizes it so you don't know who's who, but just to verify that people own a masternode to actually get in there to talk and stuff amongst themselves about proposals and all sorts of things. So I think being that active within the community itself, talking amongst and seeing how they can help contribute and provide solutions is going to be, you know, respected and appreciated by the community as you're playing an active role within that. So yeah, this is exciting times. So mine and Joel's favorite thing to do on the podcast is origin stories, history time. So I want to know more about Oliver. So you said before we started in the podcast that you've been mining Bitcoin since like 2010. So you're no stranger to the crypto world, right?
Yeah. So like, let me just add one more thing before we go on to that topic. So like, I got approval notice from the team saying that I can officially disclose this with you guys. So we can also add you know, like the voting notification and all various a notification onto our future clients and also Dash clients too.
Excellent. Okay, so, cool, man.
Yeah. So now that is out the door, like I guess I'll start with my story. So like I guess like crypto is not exactly a strange thing to me. Like we talked about before we went live. So my story begins at I think around 2008, 2009. Like I spent a lot of time, you know, playing with PC computers, like, you know, graphic cards, CPU overclocking, things like that. And so yeah, like the first test of like distributed computing I had was I'm not sure if you know, but like about 10 years ago, there was a really popular project called Folding at Home. It's like using graphic card to calculate the protein analysis to help cure cancer and other diseases. So that was actually meant like I started participating in that. Actually, like it was for me, it was to test out like the different tuning I can have on the graphic card and just to see how they'll perform under different circumstances. So like one day, this guy was talking about like so like other than voting, you can also earn digital money with GPU and computers now, and that was Bitcoin, and it was somewhere around 2010. I don't remember the exact date, but like I know that I just got the AMD 5870 graphic card. If you guys been with computer a long time, like it was pretty famous, like about 9 years ago. It was so yeah, like that was the first video card I used to mine Bitcoin, and so like I tried individual mining a little bit, but like like you're not gonna get anything like even back then when the block reward is 50. Like unless you join like a small mining pool, the probability of you getting something on yourself is pretty much zero. So I joined the mining pool and started mining Bitcoin with 2 or 3 graphic cards for the next year or so, and I did experiment. I tried the ASIC miners a little bit when they first came out, but kind of got out of crypto for a bit after that. And Dash caught my attention because like in the early days, like I feel personally I feel like the crypto community were much more separated, spread out in the early days, and but like back then like Dash had like a really like I feel like the community, like the overall atmosphere, like how people interact in the Dash community was really good, and feels like like they're really trying to develop a product that is more friendly to like average users. 'Cause, like Bitcoin was like it's not very friendly back then. Like it's very Stone Age interface. So like
I
I
mean,
feel
do
like
you think it's friendly today? It depends if you're on Twitter or not, I guess, right?
yeah. I mean, I guess like it depends on how many bitcoins you're holding. Like if you're holding a lot of Bitcoin, like it's probably friendly for you, but like for the average. For the normal guys, I don't think Bitcoin is exactly friendly, but like yeah, so it feels like Dash is really trying to push the whole crypto thing into the next era or into like a new generation. So that's how I got started with Dash.
Excellent. So you're not mining today anymore. I think most people mine it's gone to the cloud now, right?
Well, I mean, like not cloud, but like like I know people who got several hundred ASIC miners and like paying a lot of electricity bills. So like yeah, I got out of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like
very noisy.
yeah, like
Yeah.
so like
Well, I mean, also, if you live in New Hampshire like I do, and then you wait till the cold season hits, you can just turn off your heat and just like put in some earplugs at night to sleep and
well, see, like the thing is, I live in Texas, so it's pretty hot.
oh no,
there.
that's no good.
Yeah, so like just try to think about like all the AC bill I'll get if I turn on like a couple mining machines in the room.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Yeah, I mean, mining. Now it's funny because you go from mining to masternodes, which is all part of like infrastructural support for cryptocurrency. Now, this goes to a little bit more of a philosophical thing. Proof of work seems to be something that's like a love-hate type thing. People either are just like, this is the only thing, the one true. Like you even get people who are like softened on Bitcoin being the one true be all and end all. But like they say, that still say, oh, proof of work is the only thing that ever works. And then there's other people who just hate it, just think it's going to destroy the world and the environment. And it just, do you see, I don't know, what are your thoughts on that whole thing, on proof of work in general? Like, because you've mined before, you've seen how it works and how it doesn't. And now you help host nodes for staked kind of things. So what's your perspective on that whole thing?
I mean, I think from my own opinion, I do think that proof of work was necessary at one point because that was early. I mean, in the early days of Bitcoin and the whole cryptocurrency as a whole, without having those proof of work, I don't think we will be where we are at today. So like that's what got a lot of people into the crypto world. But at the same time, like although it is the beginning of all, it doesn't necessarily like I don't think it means that that's the only true answer to crypto. It's like it's crypto, like we have many crypto networks, and every network is different and unique in its own way. And like some may have POW, some may have POS, some may have a hybrid. And I feel like there are a lot of room for innovation, and like the Dash Masternode is one of them, and one of the very best ones. And I do think that the best thing is that to continue to see and keep an open mind on potential innovations, and just if you stick to one thing, then I don't think that's a lot of people say Bitcoin is the only thing, but I think crypto as a whole is still like a pretty small compared to what's going on in the world. So I think there are a lot of room for growth, and it doesn't have to be a competitive relationship. So POS, POW, there are a lot of working and partner relationship that it can coexist and potentially develop crypto into something much bigger.
Hey Joel, have you seen the live chat?
I've been watching the live chat. What
the last comment is quite interesting. I know Oliver's not the man to answer this question. We'll have to speak to Seth first. But it does pose an interesting future possibility, because we couldn't do it right now anyway, because it's still in the process of electing supervisors. So someone asked about the DIF, which stands for the Dash Investment Foundation, which is a new entity that is ownerless, memberless, but allows Dash to use Dash to, well, the possibilities are endless. So they're asking about the possibility of using the Dash Investment Fund to potentially have a business association with all nodes. So traditionally, you can come to the network and ask for funding for an integration, development, marketing, any service you can offer the network. But traditionally, where people have asked for requested funds from the network and they've been approved, it's kind of seen as a grant. We can't legally take equity by the treasury. We can ask for contracts and signed MOUs and all this sort of stuff, but there isn't really that mechanism there. And with the Dash Investment Foundation, that's going to open up all kinds of doors. We could run a hedge fund. We could invest in a taxi service, or we could ask for equity within all nodes and have a potential stake. So then it doesn't matter what service or masternode people are using on that thing, Dash would get a kickback from all of it. ATM service, if there's an ATM, crypto ATMs, we could buy into that. It doesn't matter what cryptocurrency people are buying from that ATM. Dash. So it's another arm of Dash, which opens up a whole new world in the cryptocurrency space, which hasn't been done yet. Now, I know, Oliver, I want to put him on the spot and say, Dash Investment Foundation, all nodes, are you in or are you out? Because we're still in the process of electing supervisors for that, because there needs to be a board that is elected by the Masternode network, by the way, which we vote, because we're decentralized. And we're not dependent on leaders or personalities. We're a community-led project. The network decides our own fate, our own destiny, which is really important within Dash, and separates us from other cryptocurrency projects. And that's all enabled by the Masternode network. But have you had time to look into the Dash Investment Foundation? I know it's a fairly new thing, but just from the all nodes perspective, but other things as well. That's pretty exciting, right?
Yeah. So I guess I'll comment on that as much as I can with my authority. The potential partnership part with Dash Investment Fund and all those, I definitely think that there are some good opportunities and potentials there, but Seth would be the right person to answer that. Or maybe I will have to answer for you guys if you ever have me on the show again in the future. But as for the fund itself, I think it's a very interesting idea, and it helped, in my opinion, it helped expand the crypto's influence into non-crypto world, and that's a very that's an alternative way of crypto adoption, I guess. So I definitely think you can see some very good potentials right there. Again, it's a good innovation. Dash is one of the first to start that, and I definitely love to see that. But like you said, you definitely need some voting. So maybe before that, you guys can start testing out our voting service that will be launching in the future, and that will help manage this Dash investment fund election process in a much more easier way, right?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm sure when the time comes and it's ready, I'll ping Seth and we'll have a conversation.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure like you can ping him anytime if you have any question. He'll be very happy to help you out.
Yeah, maybe we should talk about the Discord and community that we've got, because I spoke about that before. So if people go to allnodes.com, they can access the Discord channel from there, right? And all your social media.
Yeah, so right now we have the Discord link, Telegram link, Twitter, Facebook, and Bitcoin Talk on the bottom of the website. So if you just go on there, you'll be able to join any of those. But I think we are more active on Discord and Telegram. And also, Seth is usually checking those pretty regularly. I don't know how he managed to check it all the time, but he's usually there. So like, if you have any question and need to reach out to him, it's pretty easy to do so through Discord, Telegram.
Excellent. So, Joel, so I know I've been hogging the questions and stuff, but I had an active interest, and obviously, as I've been testing it out myself, there's a few things that I wanted answered as well. Have I missed anything out, or is there anything within All Nodes that Oliver, you want to bring forward, or Joel, have I missed anything critical that you think you're addressing?
I don't know if you missed anything critical. I always think about like next steps and things. And so first off, what % of the Dash Masternode network do you think you host?
I really don't know, and even if I do, like that will be a private information.
Yeah,
I don't think we're in the right position to disclose, but I can say the only thing I can say is that I think Dash is one of our major node clients right now among all the networks that we are hosting at this point.
Yeah, so I mean, the only impetus behind that is I always like good services to become very popular. And at the same time, I also want to encourage people to diversify if things become too popular to where it's just a single point of attack, which that reminds me of a little while ago. Dash's hash rate was starting to get a little bit lopsided with like a couple pools controlling a whole lot of stuff. And then, of course, trolls, because as someone who's been around since 2010 in this space, almost a decade, geez. But as someone who's been there for this long, I'm sure you've seen your fair share of online trolling and your shitcoin sucks and all that stuff. And there's nothing quite like that to like haters refreshing pages all day long until they find, I can say that they suck. And I remember just a couple people just asked around, just said, hey guys, hey people I know would you mind just mining on a different pool instead so it looks better? Oh yeah, sure. And then before you know it, the thing just gets spread out a little bit better. And so I think that's something to always be thinking about when like, so here's something. Let's see. Blockchair. Do you know what Blockchair is?
Yeah.
So if you go to blockchair.com/dash/nodes, they just debuted a node explorer, which mostly has Masternodes, but some other Dash nodes as well. And it just shows a little pie chart of the countries in which Dash Masternodes are hosted, with the US being top, Netherlands being second, and Germany, I assume, being third, and some other stuff. And so it's always interesting to keep track of that based on like how many people are focused on, how many nodes are focused in which areas, because then you say, all right, well, and of course it's not the same as Masternode holders, master collateral holders being in one country, because if you find out those people and attack whatever, you can take down them or their nodes or whatever. If you just knock down their hosting provider, they can just switch to something else. Maybe not within 5 minutes, but they can figure out something else. So it's not that big of an attack vector, but it is always something to think about. One thing that I was thinking of is pooled masternodes, which is, of course, an entirely different ball of wax. There's a couple services that do that. There's a couple of services that no one really knows about, too. But as far as the ones that people know about, there's Neptune Dash and CrowdNode are the big ones. And CrowdNode, I think they just said that they have 21 nodes and over 500 people depositing to those 21 nodes. And Neptune Dash was something like 5 nodes at the peak and like 25 people depositing at the peak. So have you guys ever thought about doing a pooled Masternode service?
I think I don't think we have any plan on working with a pool Masternode right now. But again, I think like in the future, it depends on the demand from the user, all the regulatory issues. We wouldn't rule out any potential if there is a demand and it is compliance. But at this moment, I do not think we have any plan for a pooled service yet.
Okay. Hey, Joel, do you just want to break down to people that maybe need to Dash what a pooled service is and why, even if people don't have the 1000 Dash, that they would consider using a service like CrowdNode, for example?
Yeah, so in order to run a Dash Masternode, in order for it to all be yours, for you to do the whole thing, you have to possess control over the 1000 units of Dash, which right now is like 160 grand. It's a lot of money. I mean, I don't 160 grand is probably peanuts for a lot of people too, including maybe some people listening to this podcast. But I'm saying for just a random individual who has like a good stable job and, you know, maybe a family, who knows, like it's hard to just be like, oh, I got 160 grand, just plunk in this thing so I can, you know, that's a large sum for a lot of people. So for people who can't do that, also known as peasants, just kidding, but for people who can't afford to do that, basically there was no protocol level option right now. And part of that is because, you know, Dash is a proof of work coin, not a proof of stake coin. So you can't just stake Dash. It has to serve as a cloud for a masternode, and the actual masternode itself is what's important. The thing it's not about giving a vehicle for investment primarily. It's a way of making sure you have people who are incentivized enough that you can't Sybil attack the network, and you get paid for the actual running of the node, not for holding on to the money. So they're not about to be like, oh, why don't we just drop the collateral requirement to 100 Dash or 10 Dash just so everyone can have a node, because that's not the purpose of it. You're supposed to have the right amount of nodes that serves for the most robust network possible. So, however, some people still want to be able to do that sort of thing. They still want to run a node. They still want to vote. They still want to, more importantly, just get some return on their Dash investment that's not just waiting for the price to go up. So what some people do is there's some services that say, look, I'm a trusted person. You can trust me. I have a nice face. I'm going to take 100 people with 10 Dash. You all give me your 10 Dash. I'll keep track of it all. I'll make it one master. I'll run it for you guys and hold the money. And then I'll take the rewards and then go split them 10 ways, but, you know, keep like 10 or 15%, or I think 15% is kind of the bottom. I'll take the 15% off the top for the, you know, all the risks that I take, all the actual running the node, all the other stuff, and I'll just like distribute the gains to you guys. So then people do that. And for example, CrowdNode lets you get in for as little as 1 Dash to get started. And they also let people vote. So then what they do is they tabulate all the votes for the proposals, and then they disperse them as a percentage of all their nodes, and then they allocate votes based on that. So it's kind of a hack, but everything is like when you have these base tools like Bitcoin and derivative currencies they don't do anything really. They just send and receive, just send. That's all they do. This much amount to this. And so there's a lot of stuff people built on top of these things by kind of leveraging around, like, wow, let's add a little data into the signature here, or let's, like, when the receipt hits here, then we dispense a little chicken feed to the chickens or whatever. There's like a bunch of little things that people have managed to build with that. And so pooled masternode services are one of those things that people built on top of it to have the experience of being a masternode operator for, you know, being a small. Now we're not even talking about we're not even talking about like a beluga whale here. We're talking about like a krill, like a little something. So if you're a little minnow in the water, you can still get in on that kind of stuff. So that's why there's interest in that. And that's one of those things where because you don't have to deal with direct technical aspects as much front end, you get to offer like a better user experience for that whole thing. So yeah, that's the in a nutshell about pooling services. It's not just a service that lets you go take a dip in the pool once in a while. This is like you pool your funds from Masternode.
So if you don't have 1,000 Dash out there, don't be sad. 1 Dash upwards, there are solutions out there, and that, Dash is a borderless solution for the world, and that's what we need. In some countries, it's the cost of living. It's difficult. In some people, it's difficult to get 1 Dash. We've seen huge growth within Latin America, and these services are proven to be very popular. And it's actually contribute to helping to decentralize us even more, because it allows more people to get in. Some of the most active people in the community aren't Masternode owners. However, this enables them to come in and still have their voice heard, and they can contribute to the voting by pooling in with other people to run a Masternode. And if you believe in a project, and we're in this building phase, we're creating all these cool new options and seeing all these new services like all nodes pop up, then it's exciting, and you want to be part of that conversation. And that's the great thing about being a community-led coin. We're masters of our own destiny, and people want to have that voice and be heard. And in other communities, you're kind of like dictated to. It's kind of a like it or lump it situation. And within Dash, we've always tried to be an open, welcoming, friendly community, and we try to live by that. And I think for everyone, sometimes they see perhaps Masternode as a dirty word because they just think, that's unobtainable. I can't be a part of that. Well, this is all about decentralized governance and giving it back to the community. So if that is something that interests you, there are options out there for you. I would suggest go join one of the Dash Discords, talk to people in the community. There's lots of
specifically which one.
Well,
but we'll get to that to the end of the thing.
Yeah, we'll share a link later to that. But yeah, talk to people. I do. You can talk about proposals, all kinds of things. There's so many different services out there, and some of the best ideas that come out of these come from conversations from Discords, talking to people. When you talk to people from all around the world, you get all these different ideas and different cultures come together, and they come up with the best ideas and concepts. So yeah, definitely get involved and talk to people. Typically, we have different channels for different projects and things that are going on. But if you're interested, ask questions. If you're inquisitive and you generally want to learn, even if you're new to cryptocurrency, we try to make it a friendly environment for you, from people from all backgrounds and different languages as well. So definitely check that out. Anyway, I feel like I'm plugging our Discord and Dash too much when really we should be talking about all nodes. But even all nodes, I can see having an active presence in there. And of course, they're on Discord as well. And we have an all nodes bot within our Dash Discord channel as well. So
it's pretty awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So it's all there to play for. And you can within Discord, if you haven't used it, it's kind of like an online messaging. They used to call them like internet, like cafes, right? Like online chat room, right? But you can download an app using your phone, or you can use it on a web browser. And it's cool. Talk to people. I'm always happy to hear from people, and I guess all nodes with their channel as well, which you can interchange. Will be. I'm sure Oliver will look forward to hearing from you there as well.
Talk about internet cafe and online chat room. That reminds me of like the early days of internet, probably 20 years ago.
Some IRC, yeah. That's how Bitcoin started in the forums, right? Bitcoin Talk forum. Even if you want to get started, that's how people are talking in a forum, talking about ideas, what money should be, what's the problem with the legacy system, and how we want to resolve it, and and it's those libertarian ideals has helped us get to where we are today. Anyway, I don't want to start lecturing people. So all nodes. So allnodes.com, you got your social media on there.
Yes.
The free hosting offer runs to July the 1st.
Yes, July the 1st.
July the 1st. And people aren't being billed yet. So if someone's already signed up to the service, or if someone signs up today, will they get notified about billing? Will you just like send them a notification saying, all right, guys, you got to start paying now?
So here's the thing, our billing system is going live on June 20th. So at that point, people will be able to set up their payment either crypto or fiat, and then on July 1st we will actually start the billing process, which so like July 1st to July 31st or August 1st, that'll be the first official billing cycle where you actually have to pay. So anything before that is free, and then yeah, so like even if you don't have a Masternode with us, just that check us out with a free monitoring service. Just experience it and see how you like it, and then maybe like the billing service and top up a balance system will start on June 20th with official first billing cycle with a paid service starting July 1st. So if you have a Masternode with us right now, you have 10 days to get that taken care of. I mean, 10 days is like what? It's like 10 days in crypto is pretty much like a whole month in
it's enough for a payout,
world.
Right? It's enough for a Dash payout on the block board.
Yeah.
So just to recap, so moving forward, it'd be $5 plus VAT, depending where you are in the world, to run per node, which I think is the cheapest hosting service we've had to date in terms. So I can see there's going to be a lot of interest, and that's why I thought I should point out earlier. Not that I'm a super cheapskate, although I do like ramen noodles and frozen pizza.
Yeah,
That's
you're a luxury guy with all that frozen pizza
and chocolate milk. Hey, this is another conversation, but so like even if you are interested in this, like, and you are using another hosting provider, try out the free monitoring service, and if you are happy with that, or you've just past the milestone of getting 1,000 Dash. If that's the case, congratulations, well done. If you set that up and utilize the free hosting period, you only need 8 days to get that first payout, hosting for free, and then that will pay for hosting for the rest of the year, essentially costing you nothing. So, even if you're fortunate enough to have more than one node, I think that's going to appeal to a lot of people. I mean, I did the maths and I was just like, that's too good to be true, but it is. So like, take advantage. It's clearly there to get people in to test out and use the service. Tactics clearly working. They got me, they fished me, they reeled me in, and I'm
catfished.
And I like it. I'm very fortunate and thankful for Oliver to come on and tell us more about that. So definitely go check out that service. But if you don't have 1,000 Dash, don't worry. There are solutions out there for you as well, as mentioned.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just want to add like a little bit of things before we end, I guess. So like basically the idea is that if you were to go out and host your own a VPS server, it'll probably cost at least $5 a month, and so you have to do all the actual work. I mean, I know the first time I had to set up a Masternode, it can be a lot of headache. Like, probably like a couple of stroke marks on the face from the keyboard, things like that. So like, it's definitely worth it to check it out at least. And it's easier to sign up and actually start hosting with us than it is to create your own DigitalOcean account and launch a VPS server. And also, like, I want to say at the end that, I know you mentioned that the Dash community is welcoming people, like either whales or people with less Dash and from all different background, ideas, ideology. I think that's one thing that I personally love the Dash community, because the openness and willing to like let all people voice their opinion. Because like, I know in crypto that's supposed to be how every community is like, but I also know that in reality things could be a little different. But Dash really has a great community, and that's exactly what they have been doing in the past.
Excellent.
All right, sweet. Well, this is the part of the podcast where you imagine Brian's voice saying, I gotta wrap it up now. Yeah, we have our third co-host, who is regrettably unable to be with us today, is the one who, because we've had podcasts when it's just Mark and I and a guest, and it's been like 2 hours plus, and people start complaining, start getting downvotes on our proposal, all that stuff. So Brian's the one who just says, well, maybe yes or no.
That's maybe a bit extreme.
Impossible to confirm, but yes. So if you enjoyed this, then you absolutely will enjoy the audio only version, because some of you guys like to work out. Some of you guys like to, have a life. Some of you guys want to be vacuuming around the apartment because you have too much gross Cheeto dust ground into the carpet. And while you're doing that, you absolutely should be listening to this, edifying your mind, I mean, you already know what we look at. You just look at the thumbnail, be like, all right, just make sure you go to the actual video version of this for the all those back end, the front end demonstration there. So there's an audio only version. Mark posts it tomorrow, every Saturday, in the recap post, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, all the rest. Go in there, go listen to it. Shout out to who works out and watch it and listens to it at the same time, who I know off the top of my head. Now, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, which I feel like I could say just one or two of those things, but you always have to say them all in the 4-pack. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We do read the comments. Smash for Dash, as Mark likes to say, and get our other unsuspecting employees to say on their videos. What is Smash for Dash in Spanish, by the way?
I have no idea.
Do you put that in Isabel's scripts?
Possibly.
I can neither confirm nor deny. So after this, we do something called the after party, which is just like this, except there's possibly several times as many people just hanging out, chatting. It's not recorded, so don't worry about that unless Mark's something he doesn't tell us about. So all you do for that is you go to the Dash Talk Discord, which you get to by going to staydashy.com. Let's see how quickly right then he posted it. Yep, he posted the link in the live chat. Gets you to the Discord, then you just start asking around, probably in the general channel. Hey, where's the after party at? Is anyone in the after party? And specifically, you could ping Mark Mason or myself. I go by the Desert Links there, but he's on there a little bit more often than I am. So make sure to hit that up.
Excellent. Thanks, Joel. Staydashy.com. Get in there.
How will I ever remember that?
and even if you don't want to come to the after party, that's absolutely fine. I appreciate people around the world, different time zones. Right now may not be the best time. However, there is a Discord channel and it's 24/7, 365. So get in there anyway, just to see what's going on with the latest and greatest within Dash. Thank you, Oliver, for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure talking to you. And Joel, I wish he talked a little bit more. It feels like just you and me talking, Mark.
Yeah,
no,
I
it's all right.
I totally hogged this one. It's my fault.
For
self-interest.
Full disclaimer, I planned on making myself an espresso before the podcast, but I ran out of time, so I didn't. So that might explain part of it.
And some great comments in the live chat tonight. If you took part, thank you very much. Someone's coming down saying thanks, Oliver, for a great service. So people are already checking it out. So you've enjoyed it. But if you're watching this now on a replay and you've liked it, as Joel said, if you found it informative, please press that like button, smash for Dash. It really helps us out. And as Joel said, he loves reading your comments. So get in that comment section and let him know that you enjoy it. Likes are always good. Everyone likes likes. So yeah, and
that's why they're called likes. They're not called indifference.
And make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified about future podcasts and other video content from dashnews.org. That was episode 106. Thank you for watching. It's Friday night here where I am. I hope wherever you are in the world, you have a fantastic weekend. Stay positive, stay humble, but most importantly, stay dashy. Have a good weekend, everyone.
Bye, everyone.